From a young age, I've struggled completing projects, just in general, from school to home and life. But for years, decades at this point, from not finishing those projects unless I absolutely had to, but projects for myself has made it where it feels like I can't do anything nice for myself, and I have the doubts and the voices in the back of your head that aren't so nice. But I set out to do a thing and it feels like I won't actually do them now. So this project has taught me to have the patience and confidence in myself to finish it. This planter box you see behind me and I'm sitting on in the deck, all of this is one of the biggest projects I have done so far in my own life, and this is the story. So essentially what is going on here, I've decided to start filming this in the middle of the adventure, so welcome. I am like this close to freaking out because I think I'm in over my head, but for all the skills I've already learned and everything else I've done, I think I have it. But I will be enlisting help from people here and there because there are just some things I'm not the best at. But for the most part, I designed it, I'm building it, I took over the whole project. I'm the foreman, I guess. So what we're working on today is a planter box. The one that is, well, it's that direction in real life, but outside is falling apart and rotting apart. So I figured take it upon myself to fix it. So essentially what I'm thinking about doing is doing a wooden 2x4 type frame with metal sheeting that goes on the inside so the dirt can't fall out. Late June, early May, I discovered that the previous planter box was completely rotting out and it wasn't looking the nicest, and the rot was coming up onto the porch, so I knew the porch needed to get sanded down and get it back to good wood and restained and painted, and I also know we needed a complete rebuild of the planter box. And my neighbor was this fence right here. She let me know that she was going to put up a fence. The planter box before went all the way like 3 foot. I brought it in 18 inches, so there's a little walk path. Like everything does, it started off with a basic sketch and measurements of how long, wide, high I want everything. It needed to stay between 16 and 18 inches, and I can confirm it's about 18 inches. And I also wanted a trellising structure so I can add privacy. Me just relaxing after work or after a stressful day, I want privacy. I want to be left alone. So I've always wanted to put some type of trellising, because in the planter box before it was a whole bunch of beautiful hydrangeas, but with the hydrangeas they were forcing the walls from the roots to separate. There was nothing metal wise reinforcing in the middle besides planks of wood that were rotted away. After realizing that it for sure needed to get replaced, I got the sketch done. I went to Home Depot and I gathered all the materials I would need, and it turned out it was going to be the first of many Home Depot trips. Thank goodness it is only 5 minutes away. This is the plan, sort of. I'm also writing down what on the board is what, and everything is labeled. Feel free to steal the ideas. I first got the 2x4s, the paint, 3-inch decking screws. I think I went through multiple boxes of those at the end because I kept on having to go back and get more. A paint cup, odds and ends to start the project. Got everything home. That night I marked out the measurements on the board. I kind of regret taking that night to mark it out instead of just jumping in and marking and cutting, but I had fun doing it. And it also verified to me that yes, I had enough 2x4s to do this whole project. So jumping over to editing me, it's going through and watching what you guys just saw. A lot of it didn't get explained quite right, so I'm doing a jump to now. You might see past me, you might see now me. It's gonna flip back and forth depending on what's getting explained, because I want to make sure that I'm coming across in what actually happened. On another day, somewhere in the months, I went up to Richfield and I gathered my dad's tools: a circular saw, a drill, a speed square, and a couple other. I think I stole a level from his tool bag thing. As soon as I got all of the tools, I brought them all home, started actually measuring and cutting these. I had the supervision of Daniel, making sure I didn't cut myself with a circular saw because I am prone to accidents, and to have somebody verified, like, yes, I'm going to go work out in the garage, to make sure if anything does happen, I have a ride to the emergency room, always a plus. I wore my headphones, Bluetooth headphones, for some type of hearing protection, and I just used my glasses. Don't do this at home, but I used my glasses as a eye protection. Sometimes I wore actual eye protection, sometimes I didn't. It just depending on if I was going to do a lot of cuts for a long time or little cuts for a little time. Don't know. I grabbed a jacket and some ear pros because in the garage it's really echoey and it hurts my ears. So protection, always good. These are just gun ear pro. So on another day, I think like a week later, or my next set of days off, I don't per se remember exact timestamps anymore. I was able to grab the forms, bring them outside, get them all painted to how they needed to be, get them all dried, and then back inside the garage. I think I did that after work, if I'm truthfully honest. I can't remember. All I know is they got out, they got painted, they got back in the garage. So on a week or two later, I really spread out the working on this because I did. My friends B and Elida came over. B taught me how to use tin snips and taught me how to cut the metal roofing that I put as the inside wall panel layer. And Elida, I asked her if she could limb up a tree because Daniel always pokes his eye on this tree and it just needed to get limbed up really fast, and she worked for the forestry service for a little bit, so she knows how to do it. B also helped me bring the wooden forms that were painted dry and helped me put them all together so that way everything was together, and she got me to the point where I could put the aluminum paneling on so that way the dirt doesn't fall out, and yeah.
B and Elida were such a huge help when it came to the working with the metal, because I think that's the point. If I was doing this completely by myself, I would have given up. But with their help, I pushed through, and then I ended up by myself adding in all of the supporting walls that held all the dirt in. I didn't end up putting anything underneath it. I might regret that later. I'm not sure. Alexi did catch one of my mistakes though. I was trying to add dirt in it without adding the all thread in the center and having stakes in the bottom, because how the joints were, they were already bowing out. So we had to run to the store and Home Depot yet again to get at least, I think we got 7 or 8 spikes we put into the ground all around it so it doesn't bow out in the bottom. And then when I was finishing up the install, I added an all thread in the center. Sorry I didn't film much past this point, but it turned into a project that I had to get done. So I really didn't like how the ending of that video was, so I'm sitting here re-recording it. I'm sorry my webcam isn't the best quality for how I have it all set up and everything, so let's try our best. Hey. Oh, so I'm procrastinating this to the last minute because that's the theme of this video, I guess. Um, I've always struggled with procrastination, probably always will, but I'm trying my best not to anymore. So in the beginning of this whole video, my partner ended up with rhabdomyolysis, which essentially means he had a lot of protein in his pee, and his pee was very foamy and not the right color, so he went to the hospital. Turns out his blood CK levels were 90,000, 90,000. Um, Normally it's considered a severe case when it's 15,000. Moral of the story, don't do militaristic exercises right when you haven't been doing any exercising for the past 3 years. Things can happen. In May, so right, I want to say before I got the all the dirt back into it and before I capped it, but like somewhere in there, I went to Walla Walla with my mom and my sister. And right when I kind of stopped recording the whole process, we found out that my grandfather had stage 4 lymphoma. Didn't catch it early at all. He's been sick since like Thanksgiving, and I've been worried about him since Thanksgiving. But with grandparents and everything, his health has already been for a long time not the greatest. So I didn't think it was bad as it was gonna be. But he ended up passing early morning Friday the 13th this June. Um, I literally got into the room and he passed away. I Grandma was saying he was waiting for me to get there, so mom and grandma had someone to come to if they were upset. They handled it very well, at least from my point of view, but I don't know, it still kind of hurts and stings. It's now August 8th, so it's been about 2 months, but it's the feeling of scrolling through your contact list and knowing even the phone number now is disconnected, but I don't want to delete them out of my contacts yet. And I don't think I will for a long time. But the whole moral of this story is just because you got life surrounding everything doesn't mean you beat yourself up for not a not doing it, because I could have went to hell with it and not even started this project and not fixed it and said it's not my problem. But I chose to take accountability and to do it, and I did it to the best of my ability. And turns out the best of my ability is actually fairly good. I need to learn to stop doubting myself when it comes to large projects like this because I did a fantastic job given my skill and circumstances and everything. If you made it to the very end, thank you. Let me know what time in the comments you watched this video because I'm probably posting it fairly late today and I'm just really curious on when people like sit down and watch it. So please comment the time and day you watch this. I am Slifer. This is Crow Minded. Stay curious, stay chaotic. Peace.